What's going on, guys? Welcome back to this week's Pinball Effects tournament video. Today we'll be going over the one ball challenge we had on Black Knight 2000, and then for this week I put up a vote and you guys decided we're gonna play Charlie Brown's Christmas since it is the holiday season. So we're gonna take a break, a step back from the Williams just for this week, and then we'll go back into the new Williams tables like Earthshaker and Bonsai Run. So I just thought, it would be a good idea. I think Balchie mentioned it to me that, since it's the holidays, why not try a Christmas themed pinball? And so I thought, why not? And so I figured we'll do the Charlie Brown's Christmas pinball, and we'll change it up in another way too. We'll have limited attempts. So kind of like we're switching off different weeks. Like, how some weeks we have a private tournament and then some weeks we have an open tournament. So I figured, how about some weeks we have limited attempts and some weeks we don't, right? So we'll see how that goes. But you guys voted 10 votes, and 90% of you wanted to play the Charlie Brown Christmas tables. So we're going to go with that. And first, let's just talk a little bit about Black Knight 2000 and kind of mention some of the things that I experienced as I played it throughout the week. I will say that, I enjoyed getting to know Black Knight 2000 a little more. I didn't really have a lot of prior experience with BK 2000. I played it a couple times on VPX and the Pinball Arcade, but I never really kind of got into depth with it. I never really explored it that much. And there's not really too much to explore. I mean, the rule set for BK 2000 is relatively straightforward. So there's, for a table like this that has a multi-leveled playfield, it's not a difficult table to understand. Once you start kind of realizing the most important targets, right? So what I liked about this table from my playtime was kind of thinking about how Black Knight 2000 is this double layered playfield, right? And I thought about it and I said to myself, well, what if you took Black Knight 2000 and instead of it being, multi-layered, what if it was just one layer, right? But it just, if you took the top layer and just pressed it down and it was a one layer table. And I thought, that probably wouldn't have been as fun, right? But it's like a simple kind of like mechanic, right? Like you have a ramp that leads to this upper playfield, and the upper playfield is just like another playfield, but cut into half basically. You've got the pop bumpers, you've got the loops, and you've got those rollovers, right? You got the you have 6 rollovers that spell win and war, and then you have that extra third flipper kind of controlling how you interact with the ball on the upper playfield. So I think that's really kind of a neat thing to think about when you're talking about tables designed very much like Black Knight 2000. Any kind of double layered playfield. You can think about the tables that have 3 playfields, like what's that? Gottlieb's Haunted House, I think, with that bottom playfield. You can think about other tables that don't have an upper playfield but have a lower playfield, like Gottlieb's Black Hole. So it's just kind of thinking about pinball and realizing that around this time, people were experimenting with, these later solid states with extra added playfields. And I think, speaking from stepping away from the strategy, from the design, and you talk about strategy in Black Knight 2000, a lot of people say if you can stay on the upper playfield, that's the best thing to do, because you can't easily drain the ball, right, when the ball's in the upper playfield. But at the same time, it's not so easy to keep the ball up there, right? You can nudge, you can hit different angles to kind of, and good timing can get you a lot of those sky loops. But it's also a little difficult to keep the ball up there, right? Another thing that I think makes Black Knight interesting is the fact that the upper playfield and the way you use the extra flipper and how the ball kind of goes around the loop really fast, the sky loop, really reminds me of another Steve Ritchie table, which was Getaway, high speed Getaway, right? You remember the supercharger with the magnet? It almost reminds me of that. So just think about it. Like if you've ever played Getaway and you know that supercharger thing does it automatically, but with Black Knight 2000, that's what you're doing. That's what you're kind of doing manually, right? You're kind of trying to loop it around real fast with timing, and it can get pretty, difficult to do. But I'd say once you get your timing down, that's really the meat and potatoes of that upper playfield. But for what I found strategy-wise on this table was starting the double knights challenge. And so the way to do that is you hit the U-turn loop on the bottom playfield, and then after that you'll see a green light lit on the bottom playfield, the challenge lane, and if you can hit that lane, you'll start the double knights challenge. And I think that's really how to get millions pretty fast. And that mode is actually really cool because it's all about, it's a 2-ball multi-ball basically, and you spell war to complete the rollovers to get the million, right? And so if you're really good at it, you can juggle the balls and score, and then continuously spell war, and to rack up millions. I think the most I got from that was like 2 million, maybe 3 million. But it's a strategy that I think can earn you a lot of points, and I think that's really because there's really no other way besides that, and maybe the multi-ball or King's Ransom. But activating King's Ransom is hard to do because you have to light all the letters in Ransom by spelling the win, completing the win rollovers, or getting a letter lit from the lightning wheel. So that wasn't really what I tried to do. I could never get a 3-ball whenever I had a multi-ball, 3-ball multi-ball. They all drained immediately. So I just relied on the double knights challenge, and you guys probably may have done the same thing. Let me know. But I found that that's the only way to really score millions, because this table is all about millions, right? As you can see the scores here, they're it's not really a high scoring table. It's in the millions, right? So that's what I liked about it. I like the kickback that you got. And I think what makes Black Knight 2000 interesting is how the lower playfield and the upper playfield, how they kind of mesh together, right? How each playfield has its own kind of rules, its own like targets and strategy, right? So on the lower playfield, you can decide how you want to play it. Do you want to hit the U-turn lane to light the double knights challenge? Do you want to get the lightning wheel award? Do you want to hit the drop targets to relight the kickback? Or do you want to go up the upper playfield, loop, or do you want to spell war for the hurry up? Which is pretty cool too, because you spell war, the ball comes down, and then you have to hit the ramp again to be awarded the hurry up award. And that's another way to get a lot of points too. I think it starts out low, like 100,000 points, but those add up. If you can keep on getting those points, the hurry ups after completing war, those can add up to 1 million or more. So. But it's kind of hard to do. It's kind of like a trick shot, because the table kind of tricks you into hitting that left ramp fast to get those points. So it's like high risk, high reward. That's what this table did feel like. It felt like taking certain shots were risky, more riskier than others, but if you could do them, you could get yourself a lot of points. You know, if you were aiming for the drop targets, you got yourself a kickback, and that was really helpful. I don't know if the Magna-Save is activated on a one ball, because I heard it. I heard the like animation, and I don't think it works unless I'm doing it wrong. But I don't know if it. I never really used the Magna-Save, so I'm kind of curious if you guys were able to use it, or is it, you know, not usable on a one ball challenge. And another thing that I think is important to note is that we're playing Black Knight 2000 in kind of like a bare bones way, right? Because these tables were designed for, you know, your classic 3-ball with extra balls, right? And so on Black Knight 2000, you have, you know, I think there's a couple of ways to get an extra ball, and so your score, your multiplier, they'll go up as you play. And so remember, as we play these one ball challenges, this wasn't really how pinball was designed. You know, it was designed for longer periods of play, but you know, making the best out of one ball is interesting. It's a lot more difficult, as you know, but it's very interesting because it just kind of changes the way you think about pinball and how you play it, right? It's not too much of a difference, but it's a little. It changes things enough, right? The rules are going to be that much different. So yeah, this is a cool table, I think, to have, but I think the only thing that was kind of difficult for me was whenever the ball would come down the rail from the upper playfield, sometimes it would come down too fast, and I wouldn't be able to, you know, tip catch it fast enough. Sometimes, you know, it would come down at the wrong angle, so maybe, you know, nudging could help that. Like a soft nudge could just make sure, you know, it lands in the right flipper as you cradle it. And so that was something that was also part of Black Knight 2000. A lot of cradling the right flipper. A table that really has a lot of cradling. You know, different tables, of course you're always going to cradle, but I think with Black Knight 2000, it's really important because cradling can set you up for hitting that ramp to the upper playfield. Cradling can, you have to use properly to hit the challenge lane, to hit the lightning lane. So I think cradling was another important mechanic. And so Black Knight 2000 is interesting in those ways because it has so many of these like pinball mechanics, the Magna-Save, the kickback, the cradling, the tip catch, you know, and it just kind of timing of the third flipper. So it's very much like an old school, you know, bare knuckle pinball table, you know, the Black Knight 2000. I always tell people, like, I wonder if this would be a cool movie. It looks like it could be based on a movie, right? The Black Knight 2000 movie. So, thank you to everyone who joined. We had around 33 people in the tournament, so we had a pretty big showing here. And let me give a first place shout out to Moonface Maddie with 16 million points. Congratulations, Moonface Maddie. Moonface Maddie has now been in our tournaments. This is his third week, so he's becoming a regular, which is awesome to see. And he got first place, and I'm happy for you. I'm happy that Krobs invited him to the tournaments. Really, he seems like a cool guy from what I can tell in the comment section. So congratulations, Moonface Maddie, on your first place score with 16 million points. I'm kind of curious, were you able to get, like, how did you get your points? Was it like, were you able to get the King's Ransom going or the multi-ball? Feel free to let us know if you want. But yeah, awesome score there. In second place, we have Gapvic with 7 million points. Congratulations, Gapvic, for gaining that top 3. Gapvic's also a pinball wizard. He usually gets in first or second. He's usually in the top 3 or top 5 on these tables. And, you know, I like talking to Gapvic because he's played a lot of these tables back when they were, you know, popular in the 90s and 80s. So that's really cool. I love hearing stories where people tell me they've played these tables in real life. Or people have also told me that they've owned at one point some of these tables. Or it's just so cool reading the stories that you hear. But in third place, we got Rhythm Section with 7 million. Look how close this is here, right? 7,757,000, right? 649,000. In fourth place, Joe Soap with 7,339,000. So you see how 100,000, a couple 100,000 from these scores, and it could be the hurry up, right? The difference could be a couple of hurry up scores if you add them. Congratulations to Joe Soap. Joe Soap is on our friends list as well on Steam, and I know he's a good player. I've seen him in a couple of tournaments, but it's cool to see him show up in this tournament. I'm going down the list here with names that I know. Helder Scroll with 4,574,000. I came in seventh place with 4,042,000. And so before this tournament ended, I decided to give another try, and I increased my tournament score, but not my place, which is kind of a bad feeling, but a good one, because you increase your tournament score, but you didn't really move up or down. So I try. I'm happy I got 4 million. I'll take it. But when people started showing up to the tournament, I was in fourth maybe for a while, and then as the tournament went on, I got bumped down to seventh. So I did notice that. We have ninth place Krobs with 3,741,000. Look how close this is. Eighth and ninth, right? All these scores are really close here. Couple thousand, separating them. 10th place to round it off, Michael 363, aka Dracky Barks, with 3,373,000. See, all very close scores. In 11th place, we have Balchie 99 with 3 million as well. Also very close to 10th place. And so as you see these scores, you'll just notice that this is a very tight table where every point counts, right? Even your bonus multiplier, even the multipliers go up to 5 times, but getting them, if you can get them max, that could help you in the end, right? Even though they don't seem to be big, they could make the difference, right? We got 12th place Dave 950. He's also my friends list, also a longtime pinball fan. And another thing I want to say is I love seeing these familiar names from I know a lot of you guys have played digital pinball for a long time. I think Dracky Barks has played it since the early FX2 days, which I never tried. But really cool to see that, you have this community that's stuck with digital pinball. So 13th place, we have Nonchalance with 3 million points. Again, look how close these scores are. 14th place, UTD 4000 with 2 million points. 15th place, Max Velocity with 2 million points as well. My friend Max Velocity. 16th place, we have Carpy Sun with 2,609,000. Bad Jack Daniels in 17th place with 2 million points. Like this background on Carpy Sun. That's the Earth Shaker background. We got Ref Jeff in 18th place with 2 million points here. And in 19th place, we have Jabba the Blade with 1 million points, close to 2 million. Urko 1945 with 1 million points. And going down the list, Robozon with 1 million points as well. Fabled Scarab 79 with 1 million points. Trevor C. Moore, we saw his name last time, with 1 million points. And just going down, Wombat in the Hat in 26th place with 777,190. I love that. Triple sevens. I think, was it Wombat who got like a score of 555 last week? I always like to remember numbers like that. Pinball FX fan, PFX fan, our resident Australian with 722,000 points. And Fordress with 348,000. So, yeah, thank you guys for showing up in this tournament. I hope you guys had fun. There was a point where I was just like, I was Black Knighted out of like playing this table because I just played it too much, and there's only so much you can do, right? On a table like this. On a difficult table like this. So I was kind of like done with Black Knight after a while. There wasn't a lot of Easter eggs that I could find online to show you guys. So it was definitely a challenge, but it wasn't something that I could just play a lot, right? So, but I'm glad it's on. I'm glad this Steve Ritchie delight is on Pinball Effects for us. And let's go into this table for Christmas. We can have Christmas here, holidays, what have you. We're going to create a tournament. Tables. Is it Peanuts? Yeah, Charlie Brown Christmas Pinball. Here it is. So, tournaments, create. This will be a private tournament. And we're going to have limited attempts. I wish there was like 20 limited attempts though. Let's go to where Peanuts. Okay, Charlie Brown, select. Alright, so this is private and the password will be today's date. So 12/19/24. 12/19/24, one ball challenge. We're going to keep it realistic physics, unlimited players. We'll do 10 attempts max. We're going to do the usual 6 days. So, private, one ball challenge, realistic physics, 10 attempts, 6 days. And let's do this thing. I was kind of surprised that you guys wanted to go into this. I thought you'd be more excited to play the 2 other Williams, but I guess there's no rush, right? They're not going anywhere. Here is the tournament ID, CR7V. And let's go here. The password again is the date, 12/19/24. And it will be in the description below. And we have 10 total attempts, so I got to be careful here. Oh man, I just love looking at this table. Alright, so I have to, let me just, because last time I played this, my voice, you couldn't be heard. So we're gonna just, alright. Shoot the winter targets for skill shot. Oh, okay, there they are.
Hit the flashing letters.
Okay, that was too light.
Presents and sending Christmas cards and decorating trees and all that. I'm still not happy. Shoot the left ramp.
Left ramp.
Sure.
Alright, got it. Okay.
Shoot the director hole.
You got it. Okay, look at this. Look, kind of. You know, this is kind of similar to Black Knight 2000, a little bit in terms of design, right? You have the almost. It looks like a mini upper playfield. You have a third flipper. Okay.
Catch snowflakes on your tongue.
Let's go. All right, so. And keep in mind, this is realistic physics, so it plays almost like a Williams table, which is cool. Oh.
Careful.
Oh, no, no. Oh, no. Okay, I like the background. I love this table. Wow. So, I'm going to practice this on my own, and I don't want to use up all my attempts. But I just wanted to play one attempt, of course, like I always do. Hope you guys have fun with this week's tournament. Let's talk about it. And yeah, until next time, I'll catch you guys later. Take care. Thanks for watching.